Hey everyone, welcome to week 1 of the UBL. I'm so excited to finally take part in this league, and it's gonna be another league on the channel, so I hope you enjoy. If you haven't checked out the draft analysis video, go check it out. It went up last week. We have a very interesting team, and I'm really excited to use it. It's a bunch of mons I've really never tried before, and I'm ecstatic to get to try them. So we are going to just sort of jump right into the builder. We are going up against Rewt, which is really funny to say. The reason I know this league so well is because I'm part of Dr. Slacking's front office. We call ourselves BFO, and we would always help Matt, Dr. Slacking, prep for UBL, and Matt would always go up against Rewt like every season. So I always remember building mocks on behalf of Rewt's team and, you know, watching some of his games to help out Matt when it came to team building and prep and things, and like mentally preparing for the game, all of that. So that's what's going to be kind of funny about this season, is that I'm facing a lot of people who I've prepped against before but never actually played. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be funny. It's kind of weird to play Rewt, but I'm really excited to do it. It's cool to be part of this own Wi-Fi system itself, so I'm really excited. You can see Rewt's team on the right here. It's an extremely scary team. He has Celesteela and Victini right on top of things. Like, two things that should probably be round 1 picks are both on his team. On top of that, he has insane defensive bonds like Rewt and Porygon 2, as well as things like Clefairy are like really solid. And then Zygarde 10 and Rewt are definitely like some other pieces of offense that I think can be really scary against my team. Duraludon I'm a little bit less concerned about. I think it's kind of weak. I think if it comes, it's just really to like maybe spam T-Wave or, you know, get up rocks. I don't really know how much else it does. Maybe like an Iron Defense Body Press set could be scary. Like I said, Clefairy is sort of a really solid defensive bond against my team. He does have to fear things like Jirachi in prep, but you know, if he can find ways around that, then I think Clefairy can sort of sit in front of some of my mons if I'm not careful. Cryogonal is something that I'm scared of because UPBA week 1 ended at a Haxie hands of Cryogonal, but I think realistically against my team it doesn't make too much sense. It doesn't have any coverage it can run against Jirachi outside of knockoff, and it's forced to run Flash Cannon for Mamoswine. It has to run both Freeze Dry and maybe something like Ice Beam if it wants good damage output. On top of that, there's things like Magneton that are there, Type and all that speeds it. If it's here, it's basically just for knockoff and Rapid Spin support, but I don't think it's one of the more likely brings, but I could see it coming just out of like basic support needs. Sandslash, I'm actually a little bit worried about, not because Sandslash is like a good amount offensively, but I think just spike stacking and Stealth Rock setting against my team can be a little bit of a nuisance. My clears are Skuntank, Delmies, and Torn, which aren't the greatest of all time, but I don't know. I think right now Sandslash and Hazard settings probably what best matches up against the team that I built, which is why I have a little bit of concern for it. Pinsir, I functionally ignored in prep. I have very little fears of it, given I have a Torn and, I don't know, a Mamoswine. Like, I feel like basically all my mons match up very well against Pinsir. There's literally nothing on my team that Bug is super effective against, so I don't really see it coming, and if it does, it might just be like Rock's Endeavor or something interesting. But that being said, that's Rewt's team. It's extremely scary and has a lot of great threats on it, so we're going to see what I built to try and counter it. First thing you can see on your screen is Tornadus. Tornadus is the round 1 pick. I was debating between Heavy Duty Boots and Rocky Helmet. This is my main sort of switch into Rewt, as well as like a decent pivot into other things like Zygarde and even Celesteela if it's an offensive set, because I am a defensive set with a little bit of speed. I actually have a very weird investment on this. I'm a negative Spadef nature because his team leans kind of physical, and I don't envision myself staying in on a lot of special threats like Rotom and Cragnoll, for example. Even Victini I don't think I want to stay in on unless I know for sure I outspeed it. So it's a minus Spadef nature, but has a lot, basically max HP, and then like close to max defense, but still like boosting nature and the speed in order to guarantee outrun Rewt. I did not bother creeping Zygarde 10%, mostly because I have a specific defensive answer to it later on, and because I can take any one hit from it at like full. So I didn't think it was worth sacrificing all that defense in order to, you know, just outspeed one extra mon. The thing I like about this Tornadus is it is a very reliable Rewt switch in. The hardest thing Rewt can hit me with is Darkest Lariat. I don't know if it gets Rock Slide. If it does, I'll have to cross that bridge when I get there. I'll have to double check for that game. But yeah, I switch into Darkest Lariat is basically what I'm trying to say. Darkest Lariat does 50.3 max, culminating in a 3.1% chance to two-shot, and that even goes off the assumption that he's Adamant Scarf. If he's like Life Orb or Ban, then of course it'll do over half, but then I know I outspeed and can get a free U-turn off, and he doesn't want to take a U-turn with Rewt. So I think this is just a great all-around Rewt answer and a decent check to other things. It's carrying the moves Heat Wave, Knockoff, U-turn, and Defog. Defog's get rid of the hazard setting. Heat Wave basically achieves good coverage against his team. Knockoff gets rid of Violate on things like Clefairy and Porygon 2. No Hurricane this week, not because I didn't think it looked good. I had it over Defog originally, but mostly just because I felt that Defog is a little bit more important than the other three moves were just being clicked more. Like, I didn't want to replace Heat Wave because it hit Celesteela. I didn't want to place Knockoff because, like, EV Lights are running around and I don't want to lose momentum. So, no Stab Tornadus this week, but it'll be fine. Next one is the Primarina. It is holding the Conberry. I was originally going to make this Assault Vest, but I figured that in order to be a reliable Victini swap in, I wanted to be sure I had a Resist Berry for regardless whether it be a physical with Bolt Strike or a special with Thunder set. And then it also sort of helps me against Rotom Wash, I suppose, if I need to live a hit from it, or maybe sets up a nasty plot and I don't really have much I can do against it. It is a negative speed nature this time, some weird natures this week, with a positive defensive nature. It's basically max HP, max defense, so it can take on Victini. It's also an emergency stop to something like an autonomized Celesteela. When it hits +1, I believe Heavy Slam is doing just enough to put me in Torrent range, so that's pretty nice. It has the move Scald, Moonblast, Aquajet, Flip Turn. Scald and Moonblast basically get perfect coverage against everything with the exception of P2. P2 I just Flip Turn on pretty safely, and Jet was originally going to be Hydro Pump in order to break a Spadafsteela's sub, but I'm a little bit less worried about Spadafsteela now, and I figured that Aquajet could be nice as some extra, you know, utility against something like a, you know, Celesteela that just I miss out the KO against an offensive one, or a Victini if I feel like I need it, or even like a Dragon Dance Zygarde 10%. So I think Aquajet could come in kind of useful here, and hopefully it does. Alright, so the next mon is a Choice Banded Mienshao. This is hopefully going to be the star of the show this week. It basically doesn't need any other moves besides these fighting moves. I should read off some calcs that it basically just made me build this entire team around Mienshao. The entire team is built around getting momentum and bringing Mienshao in, and hopefully getting off a kill. His absolute best switch in to a banded Reckless High Jump Kick is a max HP, max physically defense Victini, which takes 33 to 39. Sure, that's fine. I have knockoff for it anyway. But I think the more likely swap-ins are EV like Clefairy is basically really the only one. Max defense Pinsir would do the same, but it doesn't do much back to me. EV like Clefairy takes 40 to 47, but I have two knockoff users on this team, one being Mienshao, and once the EV light's knocked off, then not only is High Jump Kick easily 2-KOing, but I think Close Combat also is as well. It's not going to be too hard to get too much chip on Clefairy, and, you know, even if it just like comes in and takes a hit, it has to recover the next turn, so I'm going to get momentum into something else you're going to see later. But yeah, everything else just drops. Celesteela, max HP, max defense, takes 66 to 80 from High Jump Kick, takes 52 to 62 from Close Combat. Max defense Rotom Wash from 1 High Jump Kick has a low chance to OHKO, but it does 86 to 102%, so after rocks, I feel pretty confident about killing it or any sort of chip at all. Ideally, I want to be clicking close combat more often than high jump kick, but the high jump kick calcs were just so astounding. But I'll most likely kick high jump kick in the early game unless it's absolutely necessary for me to nab a kill on something or just get damage. Knockoff is there, like I said, for the Victini or knocking off the Eviolite on Clefairy. Other than that, fake out, I was originally U-turn. I never clicked U-turn in Mox ever because I was always just trying to go for damage. So fake out is there is just a fail save against, like, again, a setup Celesteela to do just like 7% if it's that low, or a setup side guard for the same reason. So any just sort of speedy offensive mon, I have the priority to deal enough damage to it. I think fake out does like 40% to Zydog, so I don't know, I feel like that's worth it. But yeah. The next mon is Magneton. I didn't actually think I was bringing this originally, mostly because I didn't think that I needed it. I was sort of just thinking like, oh, okay, like I guess I'll bring it to like get rid of Celesteela, even though I'm sort of destroying it with some of my other mons anyway. But then I sort of realized that it has really good matchup against like the one thing that stops my Mienshao, which is Clefairy, and it like comes in super freely against Clefairy. So like Clefairy's best thing you can hit it with is like Flamethrower. With a Violate, it doesn't do that much. And I don't even think it's going to run Flamethrower. Like, if it runs Flamethrower, well, it would run Flamethrower, Moonblast. I don't know. It just looks super underwhelming against me. So it would have to forgo something like Knockoff, which would be pretty great, given I have 3 Violate mons on this team, as you'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It's just pretty good all around. It takes a bunch of hits, and once I get behind a sub, I just deal a lot of more pressure to get things in range. It forces things like Rewt out, which allows me to get in Tornadoes, which allows me to just get more momentum. You know, I can get Thunderbolts off on things, but really just pressure stuff all around. It's also getting behind a sub is really nice to like scout what Rotom is, because I think it's a very likely switch against me, and if I'm able to get a substitute off, then it'll allow me to just sort of see if I outspeed or not. And if I outspeed, I know it's a defensive set. If I don't, then I know it's an offensive set. Mienshao 100% kills it with like even CC. The one thing obviously stopping this is P2. P2 I just feel like has no matchup against me, and if it comes, I'm just going to overwhelm it, hopefully, by getting in Mienshao at some point, or just doing something, I don't know, toxicking it. I don't have a lot that beats P2. I feel like I could lose to P2 in the end, but that's only if I blunder with Mienshao or just like miss a ton of high jump kicks. Anyway, yeah. The next mon is Type Null. It has Icy Wind, U-Turn, Rest, and Sleep Talk. I was originally Toxic instead of Icy Wind, but Vepsis suggested Icy Wind to be a little bit better against Zygarde 50%. I think overall it just matches up very well against his team. It switches into Victini, Banded, Thousand Arrows, can't 3-hit KO me, and it just gives me slow momentum into Mienshao. So I literally have 4 pivoters on this team that are all designed to just get in Mienshao. So that's hopefully the goal. It has Rest Talk just for longevity. And it like takes on like virtually everything else too. Like it doesn't take much damage from Celesteela, and I can get sort of residual chip with Icy Wind if it's not leftovers and it's Shed Shell like I expect it to be. And I have Knockoff, you know, for getting rid of the Shed Shell, which allows me to getting Magneton on it anyway. So that's even better for Type Null. It takes on stuff like Rewt too if it doesn't run close combat against me. It might, given I have a Type Null, but if it doesn't, then it should perfectly take on Rewt as well and dish out a huge amount of damage with U-Turn. But mostly it's the Zygarde 10 check and potentially a really solid lead, because it will give me slow momentum into anything I want instantly with, while at the same time taking very little damage. Alright, last mon. I am astounded that I'm bringing this around the game 1, but it's Palpitoad. It's freaking Palpitoad. We're bringing Palpitoad week 1. Why are we bringing Palpitoad week 1? I wanted a rocker to get everything in range. So I looked at Mamoswine and I was like, man, between like Celesteela and like Rotom and like P2, Mamoswine kind of isn't the greatest here. And I looked at Jirachi and I just didn't like the coverage I could have chosen against a, like if I had rocks like 3 attacks, it just seemed super underwhelming. And the thing I really like about Palpitoad in this matchup is that it just like hard stops Rotom. Like Rotom can do literally nothing to this except like toxic or like sub. I don't know. If you use sub, I have power whip. But it's there to toxic things. I do need to toxic the P2 as quickly as possible if it does show up with this thing. But it's just max HP, max defense. So like, I don't know. It's there to get in against Rotom, set up rocks, and then sort of just be a sponge for the rest of the game. It's max defense, like I said. It's a negative speed nature because I want both the physical attack and the special attack. I don't know. We're going to see how it does. It's been doing pretty well in mocks. I mean, it just hard stops Rotom. It's kind of fun. And then if Victini doesn't run Energy Ball against me, it's another thing that can, like, take Victini on as well. Just sort of go for burns. If Rewt comes in, I can shoot for a burn against it on the switch in, and it just brings in Torn, and I can just keep up the momentum. I like all the switch-ins, I feel like, give up momentum. So, PALPITOAD week 1, why not? Let's go for it. We are bringing 3 EV-Lite users. Our 3 NFE mons are all coming to this game, so that's going to be really funny. I don't think I've used a team with this many EV-Lite mons in a regular series game that's not low tier. Ever. I don't think I've ever brought 3 EV-Lite mons to a regular tier draft league, so we're gonna see how it goes, and we'll get into the game. Okay, we're back. It's sweltering hot in my room, so we'll see. I made a small change to Primarina, and that was toxic over Aquajet, because like I mentioned in the team builder, I kind of lose to P2 if me and Show's not around. I'm nervous for this. I don't do very well in week 1 battles. I have a pretty bad track record in terms of winning week 1s. I like my matchup here, so, you know, if I lose, it's on me. I blew it. So, we'll see. Start of the season. Apologies for the old UBL logo. I will update that later. I just got the graphic made before the new logo came out, so yeah, because you know I play this like a week before you see it. It's actually like a week and a half before you see it, you know. Oh, we're in. What? Fuck yeah. Okay, no Clefairy. Something dies to a high jump kick every time. Sick. Sorry, I'm a little tripped up by the internet issues we're having. I'm hoping there's no DC in the end. We do see Rotom, so I'm glad I brought PALPITOAD. I think I'm just gonna lead off with... He doesn't have a knockoff mon. That's really good for all my EV-Lite. I think I'm gonna lead off with Type Null to get a slow U-turn off. I will have to write down his team. So we got Victini, we got Rotom, we got Celesteela. I got a P now. What terrible timing. Rewt, Zygarde, Porygon 2. I think this is literally just his top 6. Maybe I'm wrong. He's clearly flustered because I have my 3 low tiers showing up. We'll see how it goes. Alright, he has a team, so let's get into it. He is going to lead off with... No matter what, I feel okay with Type Null. The only worst case scenario, it's like P2. What do we got? We got Yai. Rewt. Okay. This, I imagine, will be max attack. We'll have to see based on the U-turn damage. I'm going to U-turn myself. Pay attention to the damage he does, depending on what move he uses. Slash if he has a certain item. He just goes for the power whip straight up, so that's interesting. We go 201 to 47, so that's just 54. That tells me it's just max attack, which is pretty nifty. I don't exactly... Do I have a great switch into this? I entirely forget. Oh, I have a Torn. How could I forget? Okay, so this is just max attack. It's not choice band or not life orb. That's pretty nice. Good to know. And it's leftovers? Yeah. So hopefully we can just sort of keep getting him caught in the vortex here. A little bit of damage on type null is absolutely worth the damage that we've just put on Rewt. We see I eat pant. I don't know what that is. That is the Rotom. This damage is going to be actually really huge. See if it's Fizz Def or not. I'd say that does about 15%. So let's take a look. Rotom. I want to say that's max defense, so I don't exactly want to go into anything in particular right now. I think this is a great opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up. He's at least max HP. We're going to see if he's leftovers. He has leftovers. Okay, so going into Mienshao will likely be an option after this comes in on rocks. But I like this just to get rocks up here on my own. He actually doesn't have a hazard clear, so I really like this option. Really like this option. I'd be curious what he has. If he's defensive, I don't think he's Nasty Plot. Worst case scenario is Toxic. I don't really care too much about Toxic. Palpitoad's Roll Sword is to ensure that this doesn't do anything. So well done, Palpitoad. You forced something out. Forced something out. Here comes the Jin. This makes me think that you are Energy Ball in some capacity, which is a little annoying because I'm Wakanberry instead. Palpitoad kind of did its job. I want to see if I live just like a U-turn, like an Energy Ball. If he just like, because I imagine he'll imagine me to switch out. I mean, let's just see if I live one. I don't live one. But I'm afraid of a U-turn here. Do I think he goes for... I actually kind of like the option of going into Torn here, because he's not gonna... He'll either go for V-Create or something the like. If he goes for U-turn, I'm okay with that. So I actually think Torn's a nice mid-ground here, because Rewt's already so chipped. And... you know, what are the odds he goes for, like, Bolt Strike here? U-turn. Yeah. I wish I had stayed in and just gotten off a Scald, but this doesn't bother me. That's a crit, right? Yeah. Okay. So 45 on a crit. Tells me what? Tells me this is extremely physical. So I feel again that I can just go for U-turn here. I know I outspeed this because he's leftovers. U-turn on a crit. Dude, 45. Are you banded? Are you choice banded Victini? You are. You're choice banded Victini. That's actually massive information because it means you're gonna start taking rocks damage in Mienshao. It's not a switch into Mienshao. I'm pretty sure now Mienshao just gets a kill off on something once it comes in for free. This is actually really nice for me. I'm just gonna U-turn here. This is taking a while, so I am a little terrified. Unless he's thinking a lot. I'm hoping that's what's happening. Okay, so I do switch. More damage on this is more damage on this. And I am just going to go right back into the Palpitoad. I'm not going to play around. I'm just going to do what I think is best. Go Palpitoad. So he goes for Foul Play. Should do extremely little. Yeah. Okay. So, I feel okay going for a Scald here. I don't know if I'd prefer Scald or Toxic. I kind of prefer Scald. I just don't want P2 to come in and get burned. Maybe Toxic's a little safer. No, I'm gonna Scald. I'm gonna Scald because I think Steela could actually be a possible switch into this. So we see Foul Play. That's interesting. Rewt, we've seen Power Whip and U-turn, I'm pretty sure. Because I don't think he stays in on me, right? Like, that's not something he'll do. Yeah, he withdraws. Does he go Steela? No, he goes Rewt. Okay, if I get a burn on this, I'll be pretty satisfied, so... And just Residual Chip is nice. Let's see the Scald. Oh, baby, look at the little PALPITOAD. Burn? No burn. That's okay. So we do see lefties. I feel just like I need to rinse and repeat. I mean, it's just like keep pivoting, right? Like that's the name of the game. I do need to keep this healthy, but like jungle healing, okay. That shouldn't give you back too much. I mean, that should get you to about, sure, but I don't think you want to stay in on this, right? If you don't know what I am, I could be Hurricane. You probably want to switch out. So, is there a reason I would want a Heat Wave here for some reason? No, I think I just want a U-turn. Damage is damage. Yeah, it withdraws. We see I Eat Pant again. That's the Rotom. I am at a point where I think I feel comfortable going for close combat against this thing. I think. Let me just make sure. Close combat to 65 to 68 if it's, yeah, I just get a kill with close combat. Parting Rod's high jump kick for the damage on Celesteela, but I, at this point, am kind of suspecting that the Celesteela is offensive, so I'm a little cautious right now. A little cautious. Offensive Steel is actually looking very scary. If this is still here, we're going to see it is. So let's see the damage on this. So it's at 88. Yeah, sick. Do we see leftovers? We do. Okay, so that looked like it did 50. Let's find out. If he has Protect, we'll see it here. But seeing that this thing is not a setup set is relieving. Nice. Me and Xiao kills Celesteela. That is massive. Okay, well, that's the one thing I was afraid of out of the way. The Zygarde is still a very potent issue. If Zygarde gets going, it could be in a lot of trouble. We see Jin. That's the Banded Victini. Not a huge fan of Jin right now. I am leaning Palpitoad. I am more leaning Primarina, given I am actually extremely leaning Primarina. I think it's a very easy Primarina on this turn. We're gonna confirm this damage right here if the crit mess something up or if I'm crazy. You do see Energy Ball come out. 187 to 123. This thing did take rock, so I'm 100% sure. You like banded Energy Ball? That'd be pretty funny. But I feel pretty good just flip turning here, I think. If he switches up moves, then I will know that, alright, so he switches out. Poo, what is that? Porygon. Fine by me. I think that means that me and Xiao gets another kill. Let me just make sure of that. It looks, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, say it's at 85. Actually doesn't look like it's guaranteed KOing, so what do I want to do here? I'm not a big fan of how this is turning out. Celesteela is gone. It did 88 and then did... It's hard to say what to do here. I think I'm actually going to go into PALPITOAD because it's going to give me an opportunity to toxic this. And I kind of like the prospect of doing that. Yeah, I'm going to do... we do land the toxic. If he's like curse, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. No, he just toxics himself. Okay. Okay, so this Porygon is now so much safer to deal with. Do I think he's double status? I actually don't really think so. So a good chunk of me wants to go into... a good chunk of me wants to go into Magneton and Volt Switch. Is that crazy? It might be a little crazy. I mean, Magneton's so... it doesn't have a purpose right now, so maybe it's not. We'll see if he teleports or something here. If he teleports, once again, I'm okay with that because it means that... okay, it just recovers. His ground type is Zygarde, so I kind of do want to Flash Cannon just to make sure everything's okay. I want a Flash Cannon here, I'm pretty sure. Get this thing on a timer. And I think that'll help me, for sure. And I don't want him to pull a fast one into the Zygarde, so... okay, what switches out? We'll see if he goes Rewt here. He goes Milo. What is Milo? The Zygarde? Okay, good. I predicted that right. I wish I was analytic really badly now. See this Flash Cannon damage. Does do a lot. I definitely die to 1,000 arrows, so... should take 2 with... Type Null for sure. $147 down to $93. That's 47 plus 7. That's 56 against Type Null. It's choice band. Yep, okay, that's choice band. He's running double band, funny enough, so it's kind of cool. I need to keep this healthy, I think. He just goes for 1,000 arrows, so the rest is pretty nice here. Hopefully he doesn't crit me. Perfect. And I'll be able to rest up. Love it. So this is choice band. Once this is dead, I'm like 100% sure Mienshao wins, like pretty confidently. I'm gonna sleep talk here. And we will see what happens. He switches out. Be interested to see what he goes into. We see Hai again. I'm not sure why this is the play. I have like a really solid chance right now to like get one of 2 moves that are super effective. But let's roll a rest. First sleep talk of the season. Let's see that rest type null. Wow, well done. Does it kill? This does kill. So type null gets the kill on Zarude. That's very cool. It goes back to me. So what gives him the least amount of options right now? Right now it looks to be going into Torn. If he goes into Torn, it is going to basically... yeah, I think Torn is the play. Torn allows me a lot here. And he does not want to... does Banded Edge even kill Tornadus? I don't know what that is. Porygon. Edge doesn't kill me from full, so that's really cool. He did trace my regen. I don't exactly like that. I'm gonna I'm gonna knock this thing off. Is that a bad idea? I don't think so. Ice beam. If this freezes, I could be in trouble. But it doesn't. It's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna U-turn now because I want to stay healthy on this. And I think the play is, with this still around, I think the play is actually Primarina, because that gives me a slow flip turn. Let's do that. See the toxic, that's fine. I'll get to flip turn again here and be perfectly good. I could even take the kill if I wanted to, but I think I just want to flip turn. I think I'm going to flip turn here. It does recover, so this is going to give me a kill with me and Xiao again. And I'm really liking my positioning here. The pivoting core is working basically exactly how it should have. And me and Xiao's going to be able to get a kill. Like I said, it's sweltering hot in my room, so I'm trying not to die in this process. He will get regen when he swaps out, so I'm unsure, you know, if he will preserve this. Seeing the Zygarde as choice band actually just is really nice in general. Pretty happy with how this is going. I don't think my plan could have worked any better using these mons. I'm really glad I had PALPITOAD because that stopped him from gaining any momentum with Rotom. Speaking of Rotom, he will lose Rotom here. I really do like me and Xiao, if not just because it just like it goes for a kill and it takes one, you know. I haven't even hit high jump kick yet, which is kind of funny. Okay, so there goes Rotom. I imagine he will go into Zygarde Victini here. A Milo is that. That gives me Type Null. If he doubles, I don't really care. And, you know, this is kind of a slow-paced way of playing, but I do think this was the most effective option for me this week. So, alright, I think I have one more turn of Sleep Talk. We'll go for the 1,000 Arrows. Doesn't get a crit. I would actually kind of prefer not to wake up this turn. Maybe that was a bad play, Sleep Talking, but if I can get a rest here, I'd actually... No, I see one. Okay. So he has left a P2, and Type Null's gotten 2 kills this game so far, I'm pretty sure. So good on him. I'm a big fan of this positioning. Am I going to try and preserve the 6-0? Maybe? I haven't gotten the 6-0 in a while, so I kind of want to. What is the safest way to do that? Probably with Primarina, seeing what he locks himself into. Let's V-create. It says 112 down to 5. Okay, never mind. Never mind on that 6-0. This is banned, right? I'm not crazy. This is banned. So I believe me and Xiao picks up the rest of the kills now. Let me just make sure. I mean, I already clicked it, so we'll have to see. me and Xiao to a Victini. That is choice band. Let's just give it like 128 HP for good measure. It's -1 defense. I know I outspeed it for sure. Close combat's doing 58 to 69, so let's watch that. If we fuck up here and are wrong, so be it. Nope, dead Victini, and P2's definitely dead too. So I'm gonna shoot him a GG. That was a great game to Rewt. I'm really happy it worked out how it did. Actually, he hasn't said anything yet, so I'm gonna wait till he says anything. I'm really happy with this. It worked out exactly as I planned it to. Did not really have any trouble with how I thought I would execute this game. The whole game plan was use PALPITOAD to stop his momentum, and then, you know, get momentum myself and bring me and Xiao in. So that is the game. Really happy with how I played that. I don't think I'm pretty happy. I'm glad PALPITOAD came, and I'm glad me and Xiao got a shit ton of kills. So that was week 1. Next week we go up against Under the Radar, which is very scary. It's someone who is a very seasoned battler and a very good player, but this gives me a lot of optimism and hope, given that I feel like I'm getting into the groove of Wi-Fi now. So yay, happy days. We got a first win in UBL. It doesn't happen very often, so I'm really excited about this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next week.